think Khabib versus Conor was the biggest rivalry in MMA history? That beef doesn't even come close to the storm that's brewing between these two titans. Spanish Georgian power and precision boxing versus Scouser grappling and pure chaos. What style will come out on top? In today's video, we're diving into the full story of the Ilia Topuria versus Paddy Pimblett rivalry, a beef that's been building for years. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. This all started nearly 3 years ago, long before either man had reached the top of their respective divisions. At the time, both had notched a few solid UFC wins, but neither had yet faced top-tier opposition. Still, they were both loud, confident, and had no problem speaking their minds, especially about each other. Then came Paddy's tweet mocking Topuria and even taking a shot at his homeland of Georgia.
What excites me more is the fight with Paddy.
Really?
Yeah, that fight excites me even more. He said something about Georgia.
Oh, he said something about your country?
Yeah.
What is that?
He said, like, now I understand why the Russians are bombing Georgia or something, like putting bombs in Georgia. And
Whoa.
I'm like, bro,
Whoa.
don't joke with that.
Yeah,
you
it's a
can
fucked
joke
up thing.
about me. Say whatever you want to say about me. Whatever. He's a mushroom, he is this, he is that, Don't talk about war because you don't know how is it. He said that on Twitter.
Oh, wow.
He said that on Twitter. Maybe he was too high, too drunk. I don't know.
That didn't sit well with Ilia. You're talking about a proud, emotional warrior. And when the two finally crossed paths at UFC Fight Night in London, Topuria lunged at Pimblett with fists flying. Luckily, both camps stepped in just in time to prevent a full-on brawl.
He missed with his punch by about that much and I bounced the bottle off his head, you know what I mean? He's an absolute idiot, little bully, and thinks that he's someone that he's not, you know what I mean?
That altercation was the spark, and since then, the flames have only grown hotter. Paddy, in classic Paddy fashion, called his new rival Mr. Sanitizer Hands.
So from now on, he'll forever be known as Mr. Hand Sanitizer. He's tried to make it look good on his part when he looks like an absolute idiot. I can't believe he posted that video. He's made himself look so stupid.
And Ilia, he's mentioned fighting Paddy in almost every other interview since.
I really want him. Win, draw, lose, it doesn't matter. I want to fight him next. I want to kick really his ass. I feel this way since the first time he texted about Georgia, about my country. Since he texted that, I wanted to take his head off.
What do you think about Paddy?
He's a That's all.
As a fighter?
As a fighter, I don't want to waste words about him, you know. I don't care about him.
But the most iconic moment in this rivalry didn't come from a punch, it came at the UFC 282 press conference. That night, Paddy was scheduled to face Jared Gordon, while Ilia was matched with Bryce Mitchell in a restless test. But none of that mattered once the microphones turned on.
Obsessed with me, lad, it's heavy. He hasn't stopped tweeting about me all week, lad. He needs to sort his life out.
Mouth, please, loudly, shut up, man.
What did you say, Jared, anyway? That little bum's irrelevant.
I don't understand you or anything. Back in the flouty mouth, like
Hand sanitizer, boy!
you.
English, yeah?
Hey,
Speak English.
you want to talk to me like the man-to-man? You said something about me. I went to your country. I slap your face. I get at the waist in green. I walk like a king in your
Are
street.
you talking English?
What you
there?
did? What you
Is that
did, man?
English?
Yeah, of course I
Speak
do.
English for the people.
Shut up.
Not German or Spanish like you're from.
I'm
Little
talking,
mongrel.
talking in English and you in English. Y que te follen en español.
You're a little
Shut
mongrel.
up. If not, I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna crush your face right here.
Do it then,
And
you
mash
little
you up.
fart.
Have another question?
Do it. Do it then, you little pussy. What? Do it. Do it. Come on, do something then. Do something, stand up. What'll you do? You'll do nothing. You'll do nothing, you little fart. Go and sit back down. Sit back down, you little pussy. Puta.
Fucking pussy. Everything he
You
talks.
little
Hey,
mushroom. You
everything.
little chorizo. You fucking Spanish sausage.
I don't think he gets the balls to face me and close himself in the octagon with me, so him. See guys, he didn't give me a response. Why? Because he's scared of me.
Lad, you're irrelevant to my life. Why would I be scared of you? You're a midget with little man syndrome. Know what I mean? You're tiny. Why would I be scared of you? Serious? Come on.
Why you-
Exactly, that's what you're known as. Hand sanitizer boy. You little
What happened at that presser stole the entire show. Both fighters held nothing back. No punches were thrown, but the words were nuclear. Threats, insults, pure venom. It was a war without the cage. And after all that heat, both men walked away with wins, but in very different fashion. Ilia Topuria absolutely wrecked Bryce Mitchell, dropped him on the feet and choked him out in round 2. Paddy Pimblett, on the other hand, delivered one of the flattest performances of his career, edging out a very controversial decision against Jared Gordon that left fans and media furious. Of course, Topuria didn't hold back. He clowned Paddy on social media and kept throwing jabs at that weird fight with Jared Gordon. But after a while, the rivalry went cold and entered a phase of quiet war. For months, both rising stars stayed in their lanes and focused on climbing the ranks. Paddy kept pushing his way up the lightweight ladder by beating names like Tony Ferguson and Bobby Green. Meanwhile, Ilia Topuria was busy making history. In June 2023, he dominated Josh Emmett. Then in February, he shocked the world by knocking out Alexander Volkanovski, a feat nobody had ever achieved in the featherweight division. And then he went even further. At UFC 308, Ilia faced the second greatest featherweight in UFC history, Max Holloway. And on that October night, Topuria delivered a flawless performance, becoming the first man to ever knock out the iron-jawed Holloway. Unreal! Naturally, his old nemesis couldn't just sit back and stay quiet.
He comes to come back up to lightweight. Still think I'd beat him. I really do. I still think I'd beat him, mad, whether he's just beat Max Holloway or not. I still think I'd beat him.
Soon after, Paddy Pimblett finally got his shot to crack the top 10. His mission? Take out Michael Chandler, who was ranked number 7 at the time. And just before that bout, Topuria spoke up again with a bold interview and something a little extra.
He needs to win.
Who? Chandler?
No.
Paddy?
Paddy. He's fighting with a veteran. You know, he needs to win, and hopefully he wins, because who knows? May in the future we face each other. It could be a great fight.
You and Paddy.
Me and Paddy. You can joke. Sport is sport. We athletes. I respect all of that, but there are lines that you can't cross. You know, the people's life are involved in this joke. You can't do that.
Is
Little pimple.
Little Pimple?
Yeah, Paddy Pimblett. Yeah. He gets so fat, I don't know, anti-athletic. And to be honest, I don't know what to tell you. If he's a good fighter, he's not a good fighter. Sometimes his fight sucks. Sometimes he does something that looks good. I don't know. He's a very average level of fighter. Let's say it like that.
He officially announced that he would vacate the featherweight title and move up to 155 pounds, aiming to become a 2-division UFC champion. Fans loved it. Paddy? Not so much.
I'd love to welcome Topuria. I'd love to welcome El Chirizo to lightweight. I'd love to, but I've heard he wants to sit out and try and just get a title shot. I personally think he needs to fight somebody at 155 at least before he gets a title shot.
He called the move unfair, fired off shots at interviews, and painted a vivid picture of how easily he'd beat Ilia if they ever fought.
I always knew he was a good fighter, know what I mean? Like, that's sort of what pisses me off about him. Even though I hate him and I think he's a bellend, like, I wouldn't lie and say he's a shit fighter, because he's not. But that's what he says about me. And it made me laugh when he said, what did he say? He called me fat. That's like, lad, you can't make your weight division anymore that you are champion of, and you're trying to call me fat. He's a midget, lad. He's tiny. He's smaller than Michael Chandler. You'll see what I do to Michael Chandler next Saturday night when I dismantle him, and it'll be a very similar game plan to beat Ilia. He's small, he walks forward, swinging shots. I'll kick him up and down the octagon, and I'll either knock him out or submit him.
And after all that talk, Paddy went out and delivered. He absolutely dominated Chandler for 2.5 rounds. And when the beatdown got boring, he finished the veteran with vicious ground and pound. The message was clear. Paddy the Baddie is not a joke. Even the haters started to reconsider. Maybe this guy does have championship potential after all. In his post-fight interview, Paddy made one thing clear. Topuria doesn't interest him anymore, and if they do fight, it'll be completely one-sided.
I forgot all about him, or I would have mentioned him in the cage, you know what I mean? I don't call him hand sanitizer boy anymore, he's now El Chirizo. But as I say, I literally forgot all about him. That's how relevant he is. I'm ranked higher than he is at lightweight, so, you know, I'd love to welcome him to 155, but apparently he's sitting out and waiting for the title shot. But, you know, that what I've just done to Chandler's half the blueprint to beating him. He's even more of a midget than Chandler is. Like, I'll do the exact same thing to Ilia than what I've done to Chandler.
But despite Paddy's protests, UFC gave Ilia the golden opportunity, a title shot in the lightweight division. He'll face none other than Charles Oliveira, a former champ and submission wizard who's sure to test every inch of Ilia's game. Still, if Topuria beats Oliveira and Paddy scores another big win over a top 5 opponent, then their grudge match is back on the table, and this time it's bigger than ever. And honestly, that fight should become the biggest event in UFC history since Khabib vs Conor. But now we want to hear from you. Who wins, Topuria or Pimblett? Could this rivalry actually surpass Khabib vs McGregor? Is Paddy the real deal, or is Ilia about to shut him down for good? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. This war is far from over, and something tells me it's just getting started.